Hi, and welcome to DrupalBiref. This is an AI-generated summary of another video, podcast, or blog post. If you want to learn more about what's being discussed here, then please go check out the source. This podcast is produced by the team at DrupalForge. DrupalForge is the new #1 open-source development and hosting platform. It has all the functionality of the expensive platforms, but at very affordable prices. If you're looking for a new hosting provider, contact us for a demo before you get locked in. Okay, that's it. Make sure to click subscribe, and here we go.
Welcome to this deep dive. We've got quite a stack of sources here today, really digging into the Drupal world.
Yeah, we're looking specifically at the WeeklyDrop newsletter, issue 684. That's from May 29th, 2025.
Right. And, newsletters like this, they're fascinating snapshots, aren't they?
They really are. They pull together so much. You get core updates, articles, community news, jobs. It's all packed in there. Kind of dense, actually.
Absolutely. So our mission today, yours and mine, is to sort of unpack all of that for you. We'll go through the headlines, the articles, releases, all the bits and pieces in this one issue.
And pull out the really important stuff, the nuggets.
Exactly. The goal is to give you a shortcut, really. A way to get genuinely well-informed about what's buzzing in the Drupal space right now. From, urgent deadlines you need to know about, all the way to exciting new tech.
It's about finding those key signals in all the noise, isn't it? What are the main themes? Why should you care? And maybe, what should you be thinking about after hearing this?
Okay, so diving in, the first thing that just screams out from this issue is Drupal 7. It's everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just a mention, it's a major theme. You see it in the sponsors, like Tag One offering D7 extended support.
Right, those flexible plans.
And there are articles explicitly about roadblocks to migrating from D7. The message is loud and clear. It's unavoidable.
Yeah, this isn't some far-off thing anymore, is it? The end-of-life date feels very real now.
Beyond critical.
And that's sponsored piece from Optasy. Drupal 7 is costing you more than you think. That really, it really drives the point home. It's not just future security risks after the deadline.
No, it's about costs today, right now. Compliance issues, performance hits, vulnerabilities piling up even before support officially ends.
So the extended support, like Tag 1's, it's presented as a kind of bridge, a necessary one.
Exactly, a bridge. It buys you time, keeps things secure for a bit longer with ongoing expertise. But the underlying message across all these sources is that support is temporary. You need a plan for what's next.
And those free audits the sponsors mention, they're clearly designed to show you those hidden costs, right? To kind of kickstart the move towards modern Drupal.
Precisely. Get people thinking, planning.
So, okay, the core takeaway on D7 from this newsletter is pretty stark then. Deadline's real, sticking with it costs you now, support helps, but isn't forever.
And if you're still on D7, you need an actual actionable migration plan, like yesterday.
It's framed as a business necessity, not just some tech chore.
Which, brings up another point. Even with support, what's the long game? These sources are definitely pushing you to think about planning for Drupal 11, hinting at what's coming down the line.
Right, the future capabilities. Speaking of what's being built, the core section in the newsletter mentions some interesting technical bit. A new image effect, convert to AVIF with a fallback.
Yeah, and support for PHP Unit 10 attributes. That's interesting stuff.
What's the significance there, AVIF? I know it's newer.
Well, what's fascinating is how these signal Drupal's commitment to baking modern web standards right into the platform.
Yeah.
AVIF is super efficient, cutting edge for images.
Improves site performance, user experience.
Massively. And putting it into core image effects means that benefit is just there, more readily available for everyone without extra hassle.
Okay, so the insight is Drupal's not just patching things up, it's actively building in modern performance boosts. Less reliance on external tweaks, maybe?
Exactly. Proactive optimization. And the PHP Unit 10 support, that's more for the developers.
It's a developer experience, right?
Yeah. PHP Unit is the standard for testing in PHP. Supporting the latest versions, especially features like attributes that make writing tests cleaner, well, that just makes developing for Drupal, contributing to core and modules more efficient. It keeps Drupal aligned with modern PHP practices.
Shows the platform's evolving under the hood for contributors, too.
Keeps things modern for the people building it.
Got it. So modern tools for devs, next-gen performance for users.
Yeah.
Built right in.
That's the idea.
Okay, let's move to the article section. Wow, okay, there's a lot here. But one theme really jumps out, AI.
Yeah, it's definitely prominent.
We see comparing local LLMs for alt text generation. a mention of Drupal AI in a Drupal Association blog summary. And a specific example, SpecB shares how SmartLinker AI solves a common Drupal challenge.
And that's where it gets really interesting, I think, for you listening. The big takeaway here is seeing AI move beyond just talk. It's being applied to specific common Drupal headaches.
Like the alt text generation, that's usually a bit of a manual slog, isn't it?
Totally. Automating that, or even just assisting with it, improves accessibility, helps SEO, and saves editors a ton of time. That's a practical win. And the SmartLinker AI example, okay, the source doesn't spell out the exact common challenge it solves, but the fact that a company is building practical AI tools to fix known workflow frustrations, that's a strong signal.
So the insight is, AI in Drupal isn't just some far-off future tech. It's starting to show up as a practical helper for site builders, content editors, making specific tasks easier.
Absolutely. And it seems to be happening responsibly, too. There's that sponsored webinar listed AI for Drupal Private by Design.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so the community's already thinking about the important stuff, like data privacy, how to implement this AI stuff safely.
Good to see. Now, beyond the AI buzz, there are other articles covering, well, the fundamentals, the less glamorous stuff, maybe.
The essential stuff.
Like 5 common Drupal website issues and how ongoing maintenance prevents them. And keep your website pixel perfect with Backstop Generator.
And what is search stacks? Exploring third-party search.
Right. These aren't shiny, but they're crucial, aren't they?
Absolutely essential. Articles on maintenance, tools like Backstop Generator, which is for automating visual regression testing.
They lay out bugs automatically.
Exactly. Or looking at things like search stacks for enterprise-level search. It just highlights that a great Drupal site still needs that solid foundation. Diligence in the core areas.
Yeah, it shows the ecosystem hasn't forgotten the basics, even with all the new tech talk. Keeping the site stable, looking right, making sure people can find stuff.
Precisely. There's also a mention of the European Accessibility Act in an article from Drewnomics.
Ah, the EAA. That's making accessibility a legal thing for a lot of organizations, not just a nice to have.
Exactly right. And while Drupal's core is pretty good for accessibility, knowing the regulations like the EAA and getting practical advice, well, that's still vital for anyone building sites under those rules.
Okay, and the community side seems really active too. Articles about ManClue, the Drupal event platform. Sounds like a dedicated tool just for organizing Drupal events.
Yeah, it seems like it. And summaries of talks from DrupalCon Portland 2024, though I think the original note had the location wrong. It was Portland.
Ah, good catch. Thanks. Portland 2024 then.
But yeah, events, platforms for events. That's the lifeblood, isn't it? For any open source community. It's where people share knowledge, connect, figure out the direction. Seeing a dedicated platform and recaps from big cons. That points to a vibrant, active community.
And speaking of events, DrupalCamp Asheville. Session announcements are in this issue too. Early Bear tickets, a session with the CEO of the Drupal Association.
Sounds like a great opportunity to connect, yeah.
Definitely. Seems like a concrete chance to get involved.
Absolutely. Camps and cons are where you hear about these things firsthand. You meet the people building the core updates, the ones implementing AI, the ones solving those maintenance headaches we talked about. Plus, look at the job listings mentioned. Full stack Drupal engineer, lead Drupal developer, DevOps.
Shows there's real demand for these skills.
Yeah, the skills highlighted right through the newsletter. It all ties together.
It really does. You've got the tech evolving core updates, AI. You've got challenges like D7 migration being met with support and tools. Practical problems, getting solutions with maintenance, search.
And a lively community holding events, building platforms, and hiring people who know this stuff.
Paints a picture of a pretty dynamic ecosystem, doesn't it? Responding to needs, building for the future.
Exactly. Active.
Now, there's one article title in here that really stuck out to me. Why Drupal's greatest strength might be its biggest marketing challenge. That sounds like a paradox.
It really does. And the source, the newsletter itself, just gives us the title, the question, not the answer. But if you think about that title and then think about everything else we just talked about from this issue.
Like the complexity of D7 migration, the range of different tools for different problems, the need for maintenance expertise.
Exactly. Maybe the insight, just drawing from everything else in this newsletter, is that Drupal's strength, perhaps its incredible flexibility, its power for complex sites, maybe its steep learning curve to master it. That strength is just hard to boil down into a simple, catchy marketing slogan.
Compared to platforms with a narrower focus, you mean?
Could be. What makes it powerful for complex jobs might also make it seem daunting, or hard to grasp quickly if you just need something simple.
That's a plausible read just based on putting that title next to all the other content. Platform handling tricky migrations, integrating AI, needing real expertise, supported by this deep community.
That depth and breadth, it's a huge strength if you need it. But yeah, maybe it is the challenge when you're trying to market it broadly against simpler options.
It needs a different kind of story told, maybe.
It raises a good question, right? How do you effectively market a strength that inherently involves complexity or deep expertise?
Well, we've certainly pulled quite a bit out of just this one newsletter issue. We started with that critical, urgent Drupal 7 deadline and the support options.
Move through those core technical updates, signaling modern standards, better developer tools.
Then we dove into the AI stuff, the exciting practical applications we're starting to see, solving real workflow issues.
Touched on the essentials too. Maintenance, search, accessibility. Can't forget those.
And highlighted the community, the events, the platforms, the job market, showing the ecosystem's health.
And we saw how one source, like this newsletter, bundles all these different threads together, doesn't it? The urgent, the technical, the new, the practical, the community stuff.
Yeah, our goal was really just to help you pull out those key signals, understand what they might mean for you.
Right. You can see the challenges like D7 migration are being met with real solutions like the extended support. But at the same time, there's real innovation, practical AI, core improvements.
And the community's buzzing, supporting events. Talent is in demand.
It really paints a picture of an ecosystem that's actively evolving. It's facing its challenges, but also building cool new things for the future.
So let's leave you with a final thought then, something provocative maybe, pulling directly from these themes we've discussed.
Okay.
Consider that biggest marketing challenge idea we just talked about, that Drupal's strength, its power and flexibility, might be its marketing hurdle. Could the very things highlighted in this newsletter, these practical AI tools making complex tasks easier, the extended support bridging those migration gaps, the focus on baking performance standards into core, this vibrant community offering resources and talent, could those actually be the solutions or part of the solution to that marketing challenge?
Interesting question. Using the solutions highlighted here to counter the perceived complexity.
Right. What does this blend? Core stability, smart tech adoption, solving real pain points, plus this strong community. What does that mix really mean for how Drupal evolves and maybe how its story gets told in the future?
Something for you to mull over as you think about these sources yourself.
Okay, we're done. To close off this podcast, I just wanted to remind you that this brief was a fully AI-generated summary, and we take no credit for the original content. If you want to learn more, then check out the source. This podcast is produced by the team at Drupal Forge. Drupal Forge is the new #1 open-source development and hosting platform. It has all the functionality of the expensive platforms, but at very affordable prices. If you're looking for a new hosting provider, contact us for a demo before you get locked in. And if you like this podcast, hit subscribe, post a link on social media, and recommend it to 2 friends. That's it. See you next time. Bye for now.